Hey and Namaste. Welcome to my channel, the IKEA-centric. We have been IKEA-fying spaces since 2016, and herein, in this video, in this series of videos that I'll be putting forth, I will try to put across the fact that IKEA can be a wonderful solution for all your furniture needs. Before I delve further into this video, I would like to dedicate this entire series, this channel, and the videos that I'll be putting forth to four important people in my life. The first being my father, Mr. Arvind Shah, who was an interior designer, and without whom I would have never stepped into the world of interior design. Second is Mr. Ingvar Kamprad, who is no longer with us, the founder of IKEA. But I've been tremendously touched and inspired by his story, and also by his motto, which I try to put forth in my daily life, is that to try to make a better everyday for our daily life. And third, Mr. Parag Shah, who was always trying to push me into adapting IKEA into my projects in some way or the other since a long, long time, much before even the advent of IKEA in India. Almost since 2011, he has been pushing me into IKEA and I've been trying in my own way, study more and more about IKEA since 2011 to 2016. Then the fourth person who came into my life much later, and she inspired me to actually take IKEA products and use it in one of my projects. She's my wife, Jyoti Shah, and she was the one who inspired me and still supports me in all my efforts towards incorporating IKEA into my projects. Today, I will be showing you a video of a kitchen that was done in 2013, and actually I was supposed to do that kitchen. This kitchen was in Nava Wadaj in Ahmedabad. Now, I was supposed to actually go to Ahmedabad and do this kitchen, the planning and everything, and the execution and everything. And unfortunately, due to some circumstances, I was unable to go there and do the project. This was for my brother-in-law, Mr. Apurva Shah, who is a partner at Aron Industries. Aron Industries is a well-known name and a reputed name. They make dies for laminates, and they are also into the elevator and other industries. It's a listed company, and so I had to basically do this project for him. Unfortunately, like I said, I could not do it. But what I have done is recently I have made a video of how the kitchen actually was, and now just a few months back he expressed his desire to redo the kitchen. Now, redoing the kitchen, I had quite a few challenges, and those challenges were like in the sense that I had to do an IKEA kitchen in a kitchen that was already made 12 years ago. So this was in 2013. Now it is 2025. In 2013, way back, there was no IKEA at that time. So the basically the kitchen unit, the base units, is what I had to work on. They were a real challenge because I had just 60 centimeters of space below the countertop, and IKEA doesn't make base cabinets below 80 centimeters. They used to make 70 centimeters. They also introduced 70 centimeters as a standard in India, but later on they discontinued the METOD series completely, the METOD 70 series completely. So it was neither 70 nor 80. So something that I had to set in 60 centimeters. So what I did was I just made a visualization for Apollo guy, and basically I showed him. I will be putting a video into this particular series. In this particular episode, I'll be just putting a video of how I had planned the layout of the base cabinets within the 60 centimeter criteria that I was to work in. Now, that meant that I could use 20 plus 40, 20 plus 20 plus 20, or 10, 10, 20, and 40, or 60 centimeter doors. So something like that is what I had worked out for him. I have been doing IKEA kitchen since 2016, and I have done more than 30 kitchens up to date. In India, the basic problem is that you don't have a standard for kitchen countertops. The space below the kitchen countertops can be anything. It can be 60, it can be 70, 75, but not the standard 80 that we are now having in the METOD series. Now, since I'm speaking about the METOD series, the METOD is a kitchen system. It's a kitchen cabinet system for your base cabinets, the wall cabinets, and even your tall cabinets, or rather high cabinets. Now, we in India are basically, we call them carcasses. They are called frames. Now, the METOD system is a very, very versatile system. You can use it in multiple use case scenarios. It can be used as almost any of your storage requirements. It can, you can use it for many applications where you are short on time. You need a quality product, and you need a product that can stand the test of time. Now, the METOD series is an internationally known series, and it has received worldwide acclaim. Also, the METOD series is called the METOD in all other areas except in the US. In the US, it is known as a section. The section cabinets are the same as the METOD cabinets except for some dimensional changes here. Now, the METOD series, the 70 centimeters, was a versatile product. I worked with the 70 series for a long, long time, and I did a lot of base cabinets. I used them in existing kitchens by modifying the structure below the countertop by removing verticals and then introducing the METOD 70 series into that particular space. Now, this was a versatile system, and I was very happy. And a lot of my customers, I introduced this into a lot of my customers' kitchens, and they too are very happy and have been using those kitchens since almost more than, I would say, 6 to 7 years now, because the advent of IKEA was in 2018, August 2018, and then since then it's been 7 years. I've used the METOD system. I've been using the METOD system since I was personally importing them since 2016. And having done 30 kitchens, I can definitely say one thing, that they are the best options for you. There are other higher end options, lot of higher end options, and maybe lot of lower end options also. But the METOD sets a standard, and it really is a standard that you can actually work with. And believe me, there's no better system than the METOD right now in the kitchen scenario. At least in India, there is nothing that can beat it. Now, you would say that it is not made out of plywood. It is not made out of plywood, and it is made out of particle board. Okay. Now, what exactly is particle board? See, I'll be leaving a link below to a series that was made by National Geographic under the Mega Factory series, under which they had also done a study on IKEA. I'll put forward that series to you in the link below, and you can have a look at the video and how particle board is made. But to make things short, particle board is nothing but a fine layer of wood particles on the top and the bottom, and the material in between are chips of wood, which are larger in size or density. Now, the fine particles on the top and fine particles on the bottom, this is where the skin of the laminate is pasted. Skin of the laminate on the top and the bottom. This, I'm basically talking about the base cabinets. Now, this particle board is basically made from wood which is FSC certified. FSC stands for Forest Stewardship Council, and it's a council wherein once, if you are inculcated as a member, you have to be a sustainable company in the sense that you cannot just tear down forest for use of your furniture or for the use of making furniture. You have to be responsible enough to plant enough trees against whatever deforestation you are doing for your own use. Also, IKEA is a very responsible company, and they use a lot of waste wood products rather than using complete blocks, cutting them down, and then making the furniture. All this furniture, all the furniture that is made by IKEA is basically particle board based, or it is HDF, high density fiber board. HDF is high density fiber board that is used for mainly a lot of their shutters and their drawer fronts. And again, also in their drawer fronts and some of their shutters, they again use particle board. So basically, they are being sustainable in the sense that in the long run, they are not putting a negative impact on our planet. Now, this is very important. Now, when you consider this against plywood, the problem with plywood is that you're using something that is killing our forests. You're using logs of wood, making sheets out of them, processing them, and then making that plywood. So basically, you're involving yourself in a lot of deforestation, which is unsustainable in the long run. Sustainability being one part of IKEA, and whatever IKEA does, it's what they live by. It's something they breathe inside out, and you will find this sustainability factor in all their products. One more thing about IKEA is they will not spend where it is not necessary. So if you are taking a frame, a kitchen base cabinet frame or a wall cabinet frame, you have a back. The back of the frame is about 4 mm thick MDF, or rather HDF. Now that 4 mm thick HDF is where they are cutting costs. Cutting costs not at the expense of strength, but it is not necessary to have a stronger material on the back. Plus, they leave at least 10 mm of space away from the edge of the rear of the cabinet, so that moisture or any other elements cannot degrade the back in at least a certain extent. And this is what protects the base cabinet from getting wet in case of a leakage or something of that sort. But this is something that you have to take care of while you're actually installing the base cabinets, checking for all the leakages or any kind of seepages, any kind of termite ingression. All this has to be checked. So my point is that the METOD system is a very, very versatile system. I mean, it's a beautiful system that once you start working with the METOD system, I think you will never go back to any other normal cabinet. Plus factor being, like I told you, the factor of sustainability. That counts a lot. Plus, you can see that the finish of the IKEA base cabinets, of the wall cabinets, is far more superior to whatever you can get here. And comparing it to an apple-to-apple basis, in the sense that if you are getting a base cabinet for example, 40,000, I don't know what else you can get for that same money, that same amount. How will you be able to get that? It's almost impossible. I mean, you take a sheet of plywood, you cut it, you base laminate on both the sides. A lot of involvement of manpower. Okay, even you can do the same thing by giving it to a manufacturer, but at what cost? I will definitely try to break this cost factor down in one of my future videos. I'll give you a comparison of how you can actually save a lot of money by incorporating a METOD system vis-a-vis something that a carpenter can make, or maybe something that your modular furniture guy can make. I'll break down that cost wise and give you a clearer picture of how it saves cost. Cost is one of the factors, but long-term durability is another factor, which IKEA is not overseen in any way. They are very, very strong about their basics, and you need to have something that is absolutely functional. This is mainly about the frames. Now I'm talking about the hardware being used inside IKEA. Now they are using the finest hardware possible. They are using Bloom as their partner for their drawer slides, your drawer systems, what is basically known as a tandem box is the same thing that they are using for their systems. Now, try purchasing a tandem box of the same size in the regular market, and you try purchasing a tandem box system from IKEA. You'll find a lot of price difference. Like I said, I'll come to this later, but this is what they are using, and they are using the U-Trusta hinges for all their shutters, and the I would say it is the Aventos HK for your vertical opening shutters. U-Trusta is available in 110 degrees, 153 degrees, but all zero crank, because all their basically all their base frames, base cabinet frames, and wall cabinet frames are having the 18 mm construction of particle board on both the sides. So zero crank is ideally suited for them. They would not like to, going for 8 crank and then make matters complicated by having two different frames and then only one vertical which is having 2 inches on both the sides. I mean to say 8 crank. If you understand what 8 crank is, 2 inches on both the sides of the same ply. So ply or a particle board in this case. So that is what they try to avoid. So basically they are having room for their hardware partner. Even the shelves that they make are all toughened glass, 5 mm thick toughened glass, which can hold a lot of weight. Frankly speaking, even if you are having a 8 mm regular glass in that, it will add to the weight and make things more complicated rather than having that 5 mm glass shelf. Besides the 5 mm glass shelf for the wall cabinets, they are also having their particle board shelves, which are also fabulously finished. Now, this is about the wall cabinets and the base cabinets. They are even having the high cabinets, which are very, very effective. I mean, you can use the high cabinets for multiple. You can use it in multiple use case scenarios. Now, coming to this particular project, back again to the project wherein I had to, for Mr. Apurva Shah, I had to redo the kitchen. Now, he wanted a look that was classic, so I opted for the Bodbin shutters. Now, the Bodbin is basically a series that is marketed only for the Hyderabad and the Bangalore markets, not for the Navi Mumbai market. So, the Bodbin is it's a classic, and it's available in off-white, and it was also available in grey, but I believe the grey has been discontinued. And internationally, it's also available in a dark green. Now, the dark green is something really wonderful. I mean, if you have a look at it, and if you have a look at a kitchen made in the dark green Bodbin, you will really love it. Unfortunately, it has not been introduced so far here in the Indian market. Once you have a look at what I have done with the kitchen, in the sense that the base cabinets were actually in place. The drawers, the door fronts, and everything was in place. I totally removed whatever was there in the base, including the verticals, and I just kept the verticals that were actually necessary just to let the countertop stay in its place. Now, I've been doing this for many kitchens, and what we usually do is remove all the verticals and just keep the verticals that are actually necessary to hold the countertop in place, because finally you are going to introduce the METOD system below this countertop, which will definitely hold the weight of the countertop in a way that the vertical does. So the vertical is basically doing the base cabinets is vertically doing the job of the verticals. Now, I have shown you a video wherein I have shown the original kitchen, and then the kitchen with the base removed, and then finally the video wherein I have installed the IKEA METOD system with the Maximera drawers, the internal accessories, the Updatera series, and in whatever best possible way I could do it, and within the budgetary constraints of Apurva Shah. So basically, we have completely revamped the bottom. Also, there was a wall cabinet, again in wooden tone, but there was a space at the far end of the wall cabinets which was about 40 centimeters. And so what I did is just try to introduce a wall cabinet with a glass shutter on the extreme end. Of course, it looks a bit odd, but then I didn't want that space to go waste. So I tried incorporating the wall cabinet there with a glass shutter, so it looks a bit richer. Actually, I wanted to do it for the entire wall cabinet, but since Apurva Shah had a liking for the old style and the wooden style. He didn't want the shutters to go waste. Again, very sustainable thought, if I could say so. And yes, what we also did was is introduced the oven brackets. Earlier it was called Anatol. I think it has a different name now. So the oven was lifted above the countertop, and so that countertop space got a little bit free. Also, in this kitchen, what I did was there was a dining section, and the dining section had an open slot, and that open slot had some containers, the food containers and things like that. So what I did was introduced a board bin there, but I gave it a top opening format. Top opening in the sense that I used a ultra hinges there, and I gave a complete 80 centimeter shutter over there. So you can see this in the video of how I used the board bin in the dining setup also. The dining is a part of the kitchen, so I didn't want to do something different. I wanted to continue the same board bin series there also. So the way IKEA can be used in multiple use case scenarios is what I'm trying to emphasize here. So we did that, and we also did this thing, the base cabinet, the part of the extension of the wall cabinets, and this dining unit that I did. So thanks a lot for watching this video up to the end, and if you have any questions, you can text me down below, and I'll be happy to reply. Also, I have shared my contact number down below, so in case you need to contact me for anything, you are always welcome. And yes, we are experts at handling any kind of METOD installation. I would not say on a pan-India basis, but yes, definitely if there is any requirement wherein the project size is big, I can definitely be involved even on a pan-India basis. I am based out of Mumbai, and we do service Mumbai and the outskirts of Mumbai. Also, in Gujarat, I can do anything in Ahmedabad, Surat, for that matter, anywhere in Gujarat also, I can provide my services. But basically, see, the thing is, when I go out of Mumbai, it has to be a sizable and a chunky project to work on. So the cost of the project should not be, it should be commensurate with what you're getting. So yeah, you are happy to contact me anytime. And thanks once again, and give this video a like, and do subscribe to my channel. Grateful to you. Thank you once again.